Hi everyone, and today with me is Terrence Stephens, uh, of course, a known, fairly popular non-dual speaker, I would say, and I have interviewed a few modern, kind of radical non-dual speakers in the last few months. And I'm grateful that Terence agreed to join this meeting and share with us how he communicates his message. Terence, welcome to this channel.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much. I'm very, very pleased to be here.
Okay, so you are talking to a completely different audience, and so the stage is yours. But let me start with this question so that we can keep the ball rolling. Now, I went through your website, and you are, in spite of the fact that non-dual teachers are saying that there is no I who can seek uh, to achieve a goal, things like that. In spite of that, you are. When I read the website and your messages, I find that there is little hope, even for a non-existent I.
There's always, there's
Uh,
always, there's always hope.
Right. No, no. What I suggested was that you are saying there is illusion and you can have a bellyful laugh, and then there is the truth.
Mm,
So people are probably caught up in between. The biggest grievance is that I have not experienced this.
mm,
I have not experienced it, but there are so many out there speakers who have experienced this. So
mm.
now, how would you approach this question when, okay, I come to you and say, Terence, I haven't seen this. Of course, logically, I see what you say is yes, there is some logical explanation, oneness, or there is no I, or yes, or there is truth, but I haven't felt
mm. Okay. Look. So perhaps the best way to approach this would be, you and I speak, because you've said you haven't experienced it. Okay. It sounds like you've got a partial intellectual understanding of non-duality. So why don't we just take it from you and I? We'll have a chat. I'll ask you some questions, and let's just see where it goes, shall we?
Yeah, sure, by all means. Yeah.
I think that would be the best way. Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
so firstly, let me just ask you, what do you know of non-duality?
Well, um,
Just briefly.
not
Doesn't have to
two,
be a big
not
long
two. Yeah,
spiel. Yeah.
yeah, not two, and not two, and everything is connected, linked, uh, kind of whole. I mean, it's like a wholeness. Everything is, if you look at the world and universe or whatever, it's all linked up. That's my understanding. So there is no separation.
Okay. Now here comes the real question. What can you tell me about duality?
You and I, and the felt reality that me and someone else, me and my job, me and my family, my understanding, yes.
Okay. And what's the cause of that duality?
Ah, the cause of the duality, the cause of the duality. For some reason, the something which is deep down, which says that there is someone in my body.
Good. What is it that says that?
Oh, I love this. Hang on.
Mm,
Uh, well, probably, let's say some awareness. some awareness which says that there's someone inside. Call me.
Could that occur if there was zero thoughts happening? What you just
Zero
described
thought.
then, if there was zero thoughts happening, what you just then described, could that be happening with zero thoughts? Could there be a knowing? Could there be a knowing of separation? Could there be a knowing of me and other, this and that? You and I, up and down, hot and cold. Could there be a knowing?
If there is a zero thought, there'll
Yep.
be something like presence, and presence which takes care of what I do, like
Sure.
I speak.
Sure. But the question is, that duality, would that occur in the absence of thought? Just.
I'm sorry. Can you ask the question again?
Yes. The duality that we seemingly experience, could that occur in the absence of thoughts?
Very unlikely.
Very unlikely. Good.
Yeah.
Good. So what was the question that I asked you? What is the cause of duality?
Okay. I can simply say thoughts.
Mind.
Sorry?
Thoughts. Yes, mind.
Yeah. Okay.
Or thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many thoughts do you think a corpse has, a dead body?
Zero.
Right. So what do you think happens to the duality for that dead body?
It doesn't arise.
Good. So this is what I'm trying to point out. There's a lot of people on the non-dual path, and what they're doing is they're grappling with what non-duality is. And we hear all sorts of things about it. Yeah. There's no me, there's no I, everything's just happening, nothing mattered, all this sort of stuff. Yeah. And then the dualistic character, vipula, hears that and goes, yeah, okay, but what about me? I'm here. And how am I expected to understand this? And you're saying there's no me here. How do I, what? It doesn't make sense. Okay.
Yes.
Good. So more often than not, what happens with this teaching is people start, if you can imagine a stick, yeah? People start at the wrong end of the stick. They're trying to work out what non-duality is. Great. Yeah. They're trying to work out what non-duality is, and yet they have no clue of what duality is. So, as a seeming person, yeah, the character, the vipula character, yeah, believes it was born and one day it will die. There's two straight away. Birth, death. That's two straight away. Yeah. And then there's all the life that happens between birth and death. Yeah.
Yes.
And that duality, or the idea of duality, arises from the very beginning of it, arises from communication. When we learn to speak, somewhere around the age of 18 months, often. I mean, what's your absolute earliest memory?
Probably
age. Not what the memory was, but your age. What age were you?
I would probably say 7 years or maybe 6 years.
7 or 6 years. Yeah. There's a lot of people that can remember a lot earlier than that. But interestingly enough, they can't remember back prior to learning language. let's look.
Yes.
Let's look at our thoughts. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
You're in Malaysia, right?
I was. Yes.
Okay. So your language is your internal language. All your thoughts are in the language that you grew up with. Are they not? You don't think in English.
Oh no. Yeah.
Right. Unless we're having
yeah.
unless we're having a conversation now. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay. So, the first thoughts start to arise. Mum, mum, dad, dad. Yeah. No, yes. Really basic, rudimentary language that we start to learn as a child. Okay. Then we learn we have a name. Yeah. Mum has a name. Her name's Mum. We don't even know her real name yet when we're really young, I'm talking about. Yeah. Now, and then the language becomes more and more advanced very quickly too when we're young. It's incredible how quickly we actually learn to speak and think when we're very, very young. Yeah? The language becomes more advanced. Yeah? At some point, thoughts, just with the process of thoughts, there's an identification that occurs with this presence, with this consciousness, with this awareness that you're experiencing right now. Okay? And thought starts to say, I am this. It is me that can see. It is me that can hear, taste, touch, smell. It is me that is conscious and aware. Yeah? All from here. It all comes from here. All comes from mind. Yeah. Now, that information was put there by our parents because they're the ones that taught us language. Do you understand?
Okay. Yes. Yes. Makes sense.
Good. So there's a learning that occurs. Yeah. Now, that dualistic process begins as soon as we start to learn language. Good. Because prior to language, the thoughts that happen in here are not in a language. We haven't learned a language yet. Do you understand?
Right.
Right. So all our thinking process is in a language, in whatever country we're born into. Yeah. Mine happens to be in English. Yeah. Okay. Then.
So hang on. Prior to knowing the language, the thoughts did occur. But
Question. What thoughts?
You don't even know if they were thoughts, right? Yeah. Okay. Great.
We need the language. Do you understand? Yeah. So prior to that language, prior to learning that language, would there be any linguistic thoughts? No.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, there wouldn't be. Yeah. So there's no thoughts. There's no thoughts there about me, you, this, that. Do you understand? Time, past, future. None of that stuff has occurred yet. Yeah. So that child, prior to that, what the child is experiencing is pure, non-dual.
Because there are no linguistic thoughts.
The duality hasn't arose yet. Because it's only mind that creates the seeming duality. Because in the absence of it, if you can imagine, right, in the complete absence of mind or in the complete absence of thought, there wouldn't be a knowing of here, there. We need thoughts here, there. Do you understand? So in the complete absence of that, what you discover is the duality collapses. Okay?
Right.
Good. Now, what were you prior to duality? Now, you're going to use language now. You're now going to use dualistic language to try and attempt to describe what you were prior to language.
Yeah, you're right. Because I have to use the language to describe that. So if I were to describe that, I wouldn't be able to say exactly what it is.
There'd be nothing.
Because,
there'd be nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yet, at 12 months of age, yeah, you'd still be moving your arms. You'd still be moving your legs. You'd still be giggling, smile on your face. Yeah. All that sort of thing would still be occurring. But could we say it's vipula that is moving the arms and moving the legs and giggling?
No.
He hasn't arisen as yet.
Yes.
He's not there yet. So this very idea, I was born such and such a year, when we say that, we're referring to me when we say that. But the reality is the me comes later.
Yeah.
It comes later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, if we try and drill down on who am I? And I'm talking about sitting here believing I'm a separate person. I have a personality. I have free will. Yeah. My name is Terrence. Yeah. Yeah. From there. Yeah. Who am I? What am I? Yeah. Then the non-dual teachers step in, yeah? And they say, you're not the body. You're not the mind. Yes. You have no free will. There's no such thing as time. Right? And the dualistic character, Terrence or Vipula, yeah, can't grasp that.
Yes.
We can't.
For sure.
Now, why can't we grasp it? Here's why we can't grasp it. Because the instrument that we're using to attempt to grasp non-dual is dual. The instrument we're using.
Yeah.
It's like me saying, it's like using the wrong instrument. It's like using a tape measure to weigh yourself. To weigh yourself. Do you understand? It's the complete wrong instrument to be using because it's pure dualistic. It's pure duality. In here, it's just constant duality. Yeah? Good. In the complete collapse of this, the complete collapse of mind, of thoughts, there you are. And we're talking about true self. We're talking about actual self, which gets called all sorts of names: consciousness, awareness, presence, beingness, God. It gets called all sorts of names. Do you understand? Yeah. None of those names are true because they're just labels trying to describe the state of no mind. Do you understand? You can't describe, as soon as you attempt to describe the state of no mind, whatever description you're giving it is a dualistic description. So that's not it. You with me?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Good. Okay. So then, I don't sit here and, pontificate and say, there's no you. It's just all this beautiful presence, all this beautiful beings. It's just this. That helps nobody. I could do that and it would be true, but it doesn't help anybody. Yeah. So I am different in the approach that I use. Yeah. Because I will 100% agree that there is no me. 100%. Okay. Especially, see, what we've got to do is we've got to come to know, what is this me? Now, in the absence of thoughts, the me disappears. If I could
Right.
create amnesia in you right now, amnesia, so you lost your memory, right? Just create amnesia in you. And all of your personal backstory was gone. You don't know your name. You don't know what country you were born in. You don't know who your parents are. You don't know who your friends are. You don't know what you've ever done for a living. All of that, all the personal backstory. And we're only talking about amnesia, right? If that was all gone, who would now be sitting here? More importantly, would it be vipula now sitting here? The answer is no. It wouldn't be. The reality is you just wouldn't know. You just wouldn't know. Do you understand? Yeah. And all your backstory and all your traumas and all the horrible stuff that's happened to you in your life and blah, blah, even all the good stuff that's happened to you in your life, it would just all be gone. Yet,
it's a huge baggage. It's a huge baggage.
Yeah, but it's just mind. It's just thoughts, memory. So now, if that occurred, if we could create amnesia in you, and vipula disappears, would that mean that you would fall off the chair dead? Would it mean that would it mean if we got rid of vipula via amnesia that the life force would stop? No.
No.
Somebody's still sitting there.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, good. This presence that would still be sitting there, conscious and aware, and they're still seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, is not at all dependent upon a vipula. At all. Yeah? Okay. Now that's good. That's a pointer. So what we're attempting to do is, instead of starting at this end of the stick saying, oh, what's non-duality? Instead of that, what we're doing is we're looking at the other end of the stick, because it's the other end of the stick that's the problem, the duality. So we have to know about that. Yeah. And our personal character, this person that I believe myself to be, is tied up in duality. And the teachers are saying there's nobody there. You're like, yeah, but damn well feels like there's someone here. Yeah. So what we're doing to come to understand non-duality, we must first come to an understanding of what we are not. Stop looking for what you are, because all the teachers are saying, your true self gets discovered in non-dual and so on. That's your true self. If that's true, and I'm not saying it's not, but if that's true, what does it say about current self that's seeking? If there's a true self to be discovered, what does that say about current self? It can't be true. Do you understand?
Right.
It can't be true. If there's a true self to be discovered, this is who and what I am, and it's discoverable, then this that's seeking, this that feels it's here and says my name's Vipula and I'm age such and such and I'm married or not married or whatever the story is, that can't be who we are if there is a true self to be discovered. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good.
Yes. Sorry.
Good. So the approach with this is to let's investigate who or what vipula is. Yeah. Now, I've just given you a big tip, and the tip was the amnesia pointer. Because we can get rid of vipula. Get rid of vipula. Something remains. Then the question would be, what is this that remains? Conscious, aware, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. No big, huge backstory anymore.
This amnesia thing, it's the first time I'm hearing. Great.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where it came from. Anyway, yeah. Just but it's a pointer. It's a pointer.
It is. Yeah.
Do you understand? It's just a pointer.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. Now, let's question the me, shall we? All right. So most human beings walking around on the planet, they believe that they are the thinker.
Yes.
Yeah, of course I'm thinking all my thoughts. Who else would be? If it's not me, right? Yes, I'm responsible for all the thoughts that are happening in my head. Well, that's interesting. And if that's what you experience, Vipula, I would say, okay, can we test that? Are you open to testing that?
Of course.
Good. Here's the test. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Something happened. I didn't hear you.
I said, here's the test. Are you ready? And you said yes. Good. This is in relation to the belief, I am the thinker. And I said, okay, here's the test. Are you ready? Stop it. Stop thinking. Stop it. And what do you discover?
No, you placed me in a difficult situation because I cannot stop.
That's the truth. That's not a difficult situation. That's a realization. Because that's the truth. You can't stop it. You want to know why you can't stop it? You're not the thinker. Thoughts are just happening, right? And within those thoughts that are just happening is the thought, I am the thinker. But that's also just in the content of mind, in the content of thought. Yeah. Okay. So if you're not the thinker, what the hell's going on? Because up till now, you have absolutely believed you're the thinker.
Yes. Yes. And also there's this understanding that there's also no control over, all these thoughts that are, they come and they come very fast and lightning speed. Yeah.
Most of our problems are contained in here. Why don't we just choose when we wake up in the morning and say to ourselves, you know what? Today, I'm just going to have blissful thoughts all day. Then all the problems would disappear, would they not? Right?
It won't work.
But we can't do that. So I'm trying to eliminate this belief or this idea, I am the thinker, because it's false. And it's so easy to test. So easy to test. Okay. Now, let me ask you this. We understand that the Vipula character is based on a backstory, memory.
Yeah.
Good, because we can get rid of it with amnesia. Boof, now.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the only word. That's the only word that struck me now.
Yep. Okay, so let's look at that. Yeah. So in the absence of thought, Vipula disappears. And there's something that remains. Right. Now, let's just look at thoughts for a moment. Yeah. Can a thought see?
Hang on.
It's okay.
He's going to crack now.
It's okay.
Hang on. Now.
Can a thought see? You know what it's like to see, right? You know the direct experience of seeing. Yeah. Can a thought see?
no.
Yeah? A thought just says, I see, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
that thought, that very thought, let's look at that. That very thought, I see. That thought, can it see?
Because it can't see because it's a thought.
Good. Yeah. Can a thought hear, taste, touch, smell?
No.
It's okay. I'm doing this.
Right.
This is a crash course, by the way. I'm doing this for the sake of your video, right? I would normally be a lot more slower and a lot more gentle, but I'm trying to get as much information in as we possibly can. Can a thought see, hear, taste, touch, or smell?
No. It
Good.
can only.
Good. Now, can a thought be aware?
Can a thought be aware?
Yeah. Remember at the very beginning we discussed thoughts is just language, words,
Yeah.
words, language. Can a thought be aware?
Aware. Can a thought be aware? Can a thought be aware?
Or
No,
does a thought?
because the thought is linguistic based.
Yeah, that would be like saying, can a sentence or a paragraph in a book, can that be aware? You know the answer to that.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
It's just language. Yeah. Yet
Yeah,
it's all thoughts that are saying,
Mm.
I see, I hear, I taste, I touch, I smell. Yeah. Now, let's test this. Yeah. You're aware of thoughts, correct?
Yeah.
Good. So you know this position. There's a position of awareness that is aware, or you could say conscious of thoughts. True?
Yeah.
Good. And we could also say conscious of the body. Yeah?
Conscious of the body. Yes.
Yep. Good. Conscious of the laptop in front of you.
Yeah.
Conscious of me sitting here doing this, right? Conscious of. Yeah? Now, so you know what it's like to be conscious of, correct?
Yes. Conscious of. Yes.
Yeah? Because if you eliminate the consciousness, there's no of. There's no nothing. If you eliminate the consciousness, there's nothing.
Yes.
Good.
Agree.
Good. Okay. So let's just have a look at this. Yeah. You're aware of thoughts. True?
Yes.
Good. Let's flip that. And here's my question.
Yes.
Are thoughts, track with me, this can get a little, it throws most people, right? Can thoughts be aware of this that's aware of thoughts?
Can the thought be aware of this awareness?
Of thoughts?
Unlikely.
No, for sure. Don't be unlikely. No. How many points of consciousness do you experience?
No, it's just one. It's just
one.
Yeah.
Right. And it's this point of consciousness that's conscious of thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Good. If thoughts were conscious, then you'd have 2 points of consciousness.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, and
are you
so
with
the
me?
thoughts cannot possibly be aware of
Good.
this awareness.
Good. Okay. So here's what I'm proposing. Right? Anything, and I don't care what it is, anything that you can be conscious of can't be you.
Anything
Sit with it.
Please repeat that.
Anything, yes, anything that you can be conscious of can't be you.
Okay. Because there is of something. Right?
Yeah.
No, hang on. No, anything that I'm conscious of something cannot be me. Okay. Hang on. Anything. Okay. Because then, in other words, it. I got confused.
That's okay. That's because I've thrown you in the deep end. I haven't put you in the shallow end, and I'm not teaching you how to swim. I've just thrown you in the deep end and said, swim. Let's look at it. Okay. Let's look at it on a real basic level. Yeah. That's a mouse. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that you?
No.
If it was you, if this was you, yeah,
Right.
you'd be able to be aware from here of that body sitting there. And you can't do that.
Yeah. Agree.
Yes. Yeah. Good. So you're conscious of this, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Good. You're conscious of thoughts, correct?
Right.
Then the thoughts aren't about you.
It can't be me. Yes.
Yet your whole identity, everything about yourself is based on thoughts. And you're taking those thoughts to be you. Yet you're aware thoughts, awareness of the thoughts. It can't be you. And the thoughts aren't aware. Awareness.
Yeah.
Thoughts. Yeah. You could even say that there's a distance, a gap between the awareness and the thoughts.
Right.
Because you're aware of them.
Right.
Yeah. So you can't be them.
Okay. Agree.
It's basic. Basic, but it can take a moment. Okay. Good. Okay. Here's where we get stuck. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you aware of the body? Are you conscious of the body?
Yes.
Then I've got some terrible news for you.
Wait. Now, if I go back to what you said.
You're not the body. If you're conscious of the body, you cannot be that. What's the difference?
Yeah, because okay.
You are experiencing. I don't know how else to put it. So this is what I say. Yeah, you are experiencing a seat of consciousness. You are. You actually are that. Yeah, and from there, you are conscious of the body, conscious of thoughts, conscious of an ache that may be arising in the body, conscious of people, conscious of nature, the sun, the moon, the stars, conscious of.
Oh, yes.
Good. Yeah. Remember earlier when I said if we could create amnesia in you and vipula disappeared, what would remain? Consciousness.
It will be consciousness, beingness, kind of.
Consciousness. Yeah. I mean, that's a rough pointer because there would still seem to be a person there that would be saying, oh, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know I can't remember my memory. I don't know. So it still sounds like there's a person there. Yeah. So it's a rough, even the amnesia pointer is a rough pointer. Do you understand? But at least it shows you what the so-called vipula character is. Mind, thoughts. That's all. Because if we remove them, vipula disappears.
Terrence, the moment you say conscious of, the moment you use the word of, and then you are bowled out, because the moment you say I'm conscious of the body, that means you are it's I'm conscious of this, something
Yes,
like that. The mouse, yeah.
Excellent. So that's the point that I'm trying to make. If you are conscious of thoughts, mind, and you are conscious of the body, then you can be neither. You can't be either of those two things. But as a seeming person, as a seeming personality, we're walking around all the time saying, my thoughts, my body.
Yeah.
Now, that's interesting in and of itself, yeah? Who's claiming ownership of the body? What is it that would actually be claiming ownership of the body? This is my body. What would be doing that? Who or what is claiming ownership of the physical body?
A thought.
Good. You know those thoughts that you have no control over that just happen and dictate the reality that you seem to be living in? You don't even have any control over what happens in here. None. And yet it's dictating this seeming reality that you believe you've been living in, and furthermore, responsible for, because you have believed you're the thinker. Just settle with this.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, just settle with it. Don't be in a hurry.
No, right. No. Okay. You are not the thought. Even to say I'm conscious of, and then I cannot point to anything, because then I'm bringing the thought in.
Good.
Because the thought is not you. Right. Fine.
Good.
No.
Good.
No. Hang on. No. Even to say I'm looking at Terrence. I'm looking at Terrence. I am looking at Terrence. No, that again, it is, I am conscious of Terrence.
Yeah, but that begs the question, who or what is this consciousness? Because it's not Vipula that's conscious of Terry. Give me one sec.
So awareness, consciousness.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, so okay, you have awareness, you have thoughts, and even to say conscious of the body, it is still similar to a thought,
Correct.
which is not you.
Correct.
And even to say I'm conscious of the body,
Correct.
Still, it's not true. Right. Then you have something left. You are left with consciousness.
Hello.
Awareness.
Hello.
All right. Okay. Now, what exactly is that?
Thou art that. You are that. Listen. We have established that a thought can't see or hear.
Yeah.
Good. Vipula is a thought pattern.
Right.
It's a thought pattern. And we can
Right.
remove the thought pattern with amnesia. Then you don't know who you are, right?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So Vipula can't see, hear, taste, touch, or smell. Vipula is not conscious and is not aware. This is what needs to be seen. Not what's that? You're grabbing at the wrong end of the stick again. Do you understand? Yeah. There's a truth here first that must be seen. Because the very idea is everybody's walking around believing they're a personal self. It's ridiculous. And it's so not difficult to unravel this idea of a personal self. So, who am I speaking to?
It's I don't see now, or rather I can't find a linguistic answer.
Beautiful. That's the correct answer. That's the correct answer. You're right. That's correct. Yet, there's seeing and hearing happening right now, is there not? Ah, that's interesting. Do you think you'd be able to see and hear if there was no consciousness? Or you could, if you want to call it presence, or if you want to call it beingness, it's just words, but yeah. Because a thought can't see or hear. Vipula is a pattern of thoughts, yet there's seeing and hearing happening right now. So from the very beginning of this conversation, I haven't been speaking to Vipula. What would be the point? Vipula can't hear me or see me. Yeah? Yeah. We're speaking to the truth in you. We're actually speaking to the truth in you to get you that can see and hear me, to understand what you're not. Because you've been taking yourself to be content of mind your whole life. And I'm telling you, you are not that. I'm also telling you the answer that you're seeking is not in the mind. It's dualistic. Yeah, it's not in there. Yeah. But there's something here. Yeah, I'm calling it consciousness. I shouldn't even do that. Do you understand? Yeah. But in your own, in your own direct experience, there's something here that is being called Vipula.
Something that is here is inexplicable or cannot be explained.
There's nothing that could be said about it that would be accurate or true. Yet, here it is.
I get your point. There is kind of blankness, or there is this aliveness, but blank.
It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive.
Yeah.
It's the source of life. It is life. Yeah. It's the very source. Let's look at just for a second, yeah, it may help. Let's just look for a second at the concept of time. Do you think a me could get created without the concept of time?
The me must have a time, because otherwise me is not complete.
Yeah, yeah. And yet, if you look at it, yeah, me is apparently memory. Because if we wipe it out, me disappears. Do you understand? Yeah?
Yeah.
So this apparent seeming personal self is dependent upon the concept of time. And it's a concept. And the me is a concept also, because it's made up of thoughts. It's all conceptual. Yeah? So here we are. Here, right now. Now, when does one now end and a new now begin? When is it not now?
It's always the now.
Good. And this is where life is. This is the pure beingness, the pure consciousness. It's pure now. Yeah? Now. How do we go about, if time is real, how do we go about squeezing time into now?
There is one question. There is something which establishes the time, not the clock, not the clock time.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, but it's continuation, a felt continuation.
No, that's not time that's been felt or is a continuum. It's now. There's no time in it. Time is dualistic.
Please.
Time is dualistic, right?
I know. Yeah. Okay.
Time is dualistic, Vipula. It's dualistic. It's a dualistic concept. Albert Einstein years ago said there's no such thing as time. It's a complete illusion. Time. It's just now. And in your own direct experience, it's true. It's just now. It's never not now. You cannot squeeze time into now because the now has no beginning and no end. That's time out the way. What about free will? Shall we look at free will? Everybody believes they have free will. Yeah. That comes back to.
I mean, you removed it at the beginning because how the thoughts occur. So that's very clear. But this time factor is the only issue was the appearance of continuation. Appearance of continuation.
I understand. It's an idea of an appearance of continuation.
Now it's clear. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. In your own direct experience, you cannot squeeze time into now. It's not possible. I don't care how you dice it. You can't. From your own direct experience, I'm talking about. It'll just be this that says, oh yeah, of course I'm experiencing time because I've been sitting here for an hour and you know, I sat down an hour ago and this will say that. This helps create the illusion of it all, of time. But if you come back to your own direct experience, you do not actually experience time now. You're experiencing now.
Yeah.
You can't squeeze time into now. Yeah. And we talk about, you know, God being the infinite. Yeah. If the now has no beginning and no end, that sounds pretty infinite to me. Pause. If the now has no beginning and no end, that sounds pretty infinite to me. And that is your actual direct experience now. You are never not now. Here's what happens, yeah? We go from now and the attention goes into here, now we're in time. Now we're not here. We're not here in the immediacy of now. We've fallen into duality. We've fallen into the mind again and believing that. Believing that, all the stuff that pops up in
Terrence, it's in the now, the story drops. So the story collapses, so the time also collapses. Yes.
Correct.
So it's a story. Yeah, it's a story.
Correct. Free will collapses. Time collapses. Thoughts collapse. Identification collapses. Duality collapses. Yeah. See,
While I'm with you,
mm,
there is because it's for me, it's like taking one by one step back and back and back and back, and there is sort of I can't explain that. It's yeah. I don't know what it's a thoughtless kind of something. Okay, thoughtless something because
you could kind of say the process of stepping back and back and back and back is I'm not this, 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 and then you get left with, oh my God, what's this? Because this can't be denied. You cannot deny this. This you can, easy. Easy.
And you cannot add anything by saying this of that.
Correct.
Awareness of, oh yeah, okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I've had to use dualistic language this from the very beginning of our conversation. And what we've been doing is we've been unraveling duality. That's the right instrument to do that. Yeah. But at some point, this has to be put down. Because this can't grasp non-dual. Mind can't grasp it. A thought can't grasp it. Why? Because thought's mind is a dualistic instrument. It can't.
Yeah. I think one of the problems I had was this time, not in terms of the clock time, but because of that story, because the story confirms and strengthens the time factor. Yeah.
They're both concepts.
Yeah.
That's important. They're both concepts, the story and time. Just need to see that. The absurdness of that. You'll drop it. They're concepts. Like numbers. Yeah? Show me number 2. Show me number 2.
You're asking me to show number 2.
I'm asking you to show me number 2. I'm asking you to show me 2. Show me 2. 4, if you like. Show me 5. Show me 5. Show it to me.
Show 5.
Yeah. Now, there's 5 fingers. I'm asking you to show me 5. Show me 5.
Okay. I got it.
And you can't. You can't because it's a concept. Numbers are conceptual. Time is based on numbers, remember? Yet your numbers, the numbers themselves are conceptual. You can't show me 5. Even if you did this, yeah, that's a symbol of 5.
It's a symbol.
It's a symbol. Show me 5. You can't. Yet we run on the belief that numbers are real. Of course, numbers are real. They're a concept. So too is time, a concept. Me, this personal self, is built on concepts, thoughts. It's all conceptual. Because a thought can't experience being conscious. being aware. It's just a story. It's just a narration going on.
That narration, Terrence, probably this is like my last question, like the narration, the word that you use, the narration appears very real in relation to time, because when you look around, the trees have grown like me. Yeah, you get my point, and it establishes a period, a linear kind of a thing, not the clock.
I know.
When you,
I know what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. So let me just say this, yeah? The narration is only in relation to the narration.
please say that again.
Yes.
The narration.
The narration is
Yes.
only in relation to the narration. The story, yeah, my life, the story of my life, right? The story is only about the story. It's not difficult to see.
In relation to the narration.
Yeah. The narration is in relation to the narration. The story is in relation to the story. But we think what happens here is we go, oh, the story is in relation to me. But me is the story.
Yeah.
Do you understand? That's what I mean. The story is in relation to the story. And then there's an awareness of that story. The awareness isn't the story, or the consciousness isn't the story. This consciousness or this awareness is conscious or aware of the story. You can't be that. As a crash course today. As a crash course.
Yeah, I know, but there's nothing more to say, right? And I have nothing more to ask us. That's why I said that was probably the last question, because
if this is understood.
Narration in relation to narration. Oh God, I should have known that.
That's okay.
But it's very subtle, Terrence. Very subtle. Oh gosh, it's like it slips.
You see, when it finally dawns on you, oh, I'm not that. The story, the narrating.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm not that. All the attention then shifts away from that, the story, to here.
And not this either.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
Yeah.
100%. Then the question comes up, and it'll be a rhetorical question for you. Oh my God, what's this? Rhetorical. Yeah. And you discover you are this, and this can't be defined. You can't talk about it. There's nothing you can say about it, but yet here it is. And then just sit within the absolute stillness of that. Because thoughts have stopped now. Just sit in the absolute stillness of that, and then see what gets revealed there.
The words resonate. The words resonate. But you if I had attempted to do something, it would have been futile, right? Because
no, look, in a sense, yes. If you're talking about trying to find non-dual, I would say forget about that. You're wasting your time. That just doesn't work. Yeah. But if you're talking about doing, yeah, the doing side of it is coming to understand what you're not. Coming to understand time isn't real. Coming to understand there is no free will. Coming to understand thoughts just happen. Coming to understand I can't be the thoughts. I'm aware of them. It's coming to understand from your own direct experience, sitting with your direct self. Look, just look. Look, this is not actually difficult. It's really not. It's not difficult. And it's in plain sight, actually. Plain sight. Yeah. It's got to understand what you're not.
Terrence, I'm so grateful because
it's a pleasure.
I may have heard these words before, but it's not like there were some questions, and which you cleared. I think that's really great. And I know you're doing it, and you're not getting anything in return. You're not in anticipation of this. So this is kind of very altruistic work that you are doing, and I'm really grateful. So I hope I hope this message is not going to it's not that I benefited, but I'm sure
that nothing would thrill me more if lots benefited. Nothing would thrill me more, because this is all there actually is. Everything else is an illusion. It's not real. This is.
No. It's very clear. It's like sort of the mist is like it's taken away.
Yeah. I can. All I did today was I continue to point and ask you to look. Just continue to point. Now, you've had a big insight today. Now what you need to be able to do is go away by yourself and look at the pointings yourself. Just sit still, observe. Am I the thoughts? It's interesting. Am I the thing? Can a thought see, hear, taste, touch? Is a thought actually aware? If it was, there'd be 2 points of awareness, because there's I'm aware of thoughts. Well, there is an awareness of thought. Now, if thoughts were aware, now you'd be in deep trouble, because there'd be 2 points of consciousness. Now we're talking nearly schizophrenic. You know what I mean? You would know where you were if there's 2 points of consciousness. There's not. There's one seat of consciousness that our whole life we've been calling me. And it's not me, it's you. Yes. Yeah. I don't, there is a you there, but I don't define what that is, or what shape it is, or does it have a boundary? Does it exist in time? I don't do any of that. Yeah. But you're conscious. That's what I'm speaking to. Not the mind, not the I'm not. It would be a waste of time. Imagine me sitting here talking to a story. What? I might as well be flicking through a book that's got a story in it and talking to the pages. It's a story.
No, your approach was brilliant, and I became speechless, to be very frank, at the end, because what more to search now? It's
fantastic. That's what's meant to happen. You're meant to go speechless. Everything gets challenged and understood. Okay. Now, what's this? Do you understand? Yeah.
And you have, whatever you try to explain thereafter, it's just I don't know. It's just again, you go back to the story if you try to speak anymore.
Good. Yeah, then done. We should end it there, actually. Yeah. That's brilliant. Yeah,
exactly.
Great.
Terrence, of course, this will be uploaded, and with a tribute to you. And
no worries. Yeah.
It was completely something that I didn't anticipate. I thought this was a discussion, and I was going to ask you what it is on reality and what is your message, but you took a completely different thing, and
This is the best way to do it.
everyone.
This is the best way to do it. I might as well just speak to you, because everyone's walking around believing they're a person. So I might as well just speak to you. And I think, yeah, if you do upload this, I think people will get a lot out of it. Yeah, because
Definitely.
yeah,
Definitely.
Thank you.
It's a simple, it's such a simple, but it's subtle. Thanks a
Mm.
lot. Really appreciate. I'm very grateful to you. Thank you very much.
Pleasure, my friend. Let's do this again sometime.
Yes,
Anytime.
certainly.
Okay.
Yes.